Stop.
Peace. SHU AMUN RA. How you doing? How you feeling? I told you today we're gonna start class again because we was busy last week. We had things to do, and I gave you the classic videos. But this week class starts now. I'm not your Negro. But the class is not about that. I told y'all I left a video yesterday to tell you that class today is based on Black Panther, and I already stated to y'all that I waited 2 weeks. You notice I ain't saying nothing about Black Panther because I wanted to wait 2 weeks. I was gonna wait a 3 weeks, as a matter of fact, but I changed my mind. I'm gonna get voice my opinions and how I feel, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. Quite frankly, I'm a comic head. I told you this earlier. Throughout the week, I'm a comic head, so you ain't gotta worry about me trying to destroy the movie. You ain't gotta worry about me saying anything negative about the movie, because I'm gonna give the movie 1,000%. 1,000%. Because I've been a comic head since I was a child. Okay, DC Comics, Marvel Comics. Listen here. These were the things that was that we had at the time for entertainment. So let's stop playing games. I'm SHU AMUN RA. Peace to the gods, the goddesses, the kings, the queens, the brothers, the sisters, whatever you want to be called. And if you think what I'm drinking here, remember I told y'all yesterday, if you watched the video, I got my juice. You see that? That is all fruits. I showed y'all yesterday, if anyone watched the video, all fruits. You need to get your machine, your blender, and get your fruits, blend them in, and drink them. Drink them vitamins, A, B, C, D, they're all in there. The doctors don't want you to do that. They don't want you to be all natural. Alright, let's put in this work. I'm only going to say it once. I'm not your minister, your pastor, your preacher, your reverend. I'm not your scholar. I'm not your archaeologist. I'm not your astronomer. I'm not your scientist. I'm not your social study teachers. I'm none of those things. But I am the messenger. I'm here to drop this Black Panther raw, the way I see it, the way I dove into it. I've seen it 3 times. That's right, I love that movie. That's right, I'll let you know. So, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. You ain't gonna give me your opinion. None of this is my opinion now. The class starts. Get your pencils and papers. Get your pencils and papers. As I told you before, it's not about entertainment. It's about learning. I'll be showing you videos throughout class, different people's opinions, and I'm gonna break down some of their opinions. And why I ain't like what they say, the things they said. Let's get in here. Alright, first thing I want to say is this here. Black Panther's movie, I think, is right now is one of the best Marvel comic movies that came out. The first thing I want to say is this: number one, everybody can have their opinion on what they want to say. We understand it, right? Okay. But guess what? Let's be honest. None of us put our money into making that movie. You can voice your opinion, whatever you want. You could be critical all you want. You could be pro-black all you want. But at the end of the day, you ain't putting out a penny to making that movie. So all you liberal people, all you pro-black, and I'm pro-black too. But the difference is I roll with the times. I move with the times. Meaning, every 10 years, you got to elevate your game. You can't stay in one, you can't station yourself in one place. You can get lost like that. Now some people go, well, it took so long for Black Panther. I'm gonna break this down for you. On the Cinemax screen, on the movie screen, we know we see other black superheroes. But who made them? Understand that fact, because too many of you people out there kept talking about, oh, Black Panther wasn't the only black superhero that was on the movie screen. You was not paying attention clearly to what was said. Stop. Walt Disney helped finance Black Panther. So it was his first black superhero movie connected with Marvel. Right? Okay then. So when Wesley Snipes did Blade, the trilogy, they didn't help him. He did that. Okay? You had Robert Townsend that did Meteor Man. They didn't help him. He did that. You remember that? Let me show you some clips. I'll be right back.
Meteor Man's in town.
He's come to save the world, one neighborhood at a time. Meteor Man.
Sorry, Mike.
Robert Townsend, Marla Gibbs, Eddie Griffin, Robert Guillaume, James Earl Jones, Bill Cosby, and another bad creation. Special appearances by Luther Vandross, Sinbad, Naughty by Nature, Cypress Hill, and Big Daddy Kane.
Stay chilly. Peace them out. Chilly.
Robert Townsend is
Have a good night, folks.
Meteor Man, directed by Robert Townsend.
When hope is gone and help is out of reach,
Please help me.
hey, get off the car, you bum! Only one man can stand in the way of evil.
Look! I'm a crime fighter!
No man
Get ready to rumble!
has ever been so bold. No crime fighter so brave.
Wanna try it again, pal? Why don't you shoot him in the head? Yeah! Shoot him in the head! Uh-oh.
Save yourself. There's no point in us all dying.
I'll never forget you, my love.
And no crusader has inspired so many.
It's a big world, and we all have to do our part.
Columbia Pictures presents
I have to make the world a safer place for my children.
You got to be with the woman first! You a virgin!
Well,
Stephen Wayans,
please, call me Blank Man.
Blank Man. Now, stand back. Because these guys
Blank suits.
are what the world's been waiting for.
Did you find a bomb?
Yeah, but not the one we're looking for. Stephen Wayans,
Hang on, I'm coming down!
you're gonna have to deliver this baby.
Can't do that. We'll have to see her thing.
David Alan Greer,
Kevin, I can't hear you. What? Talk lame to the buckle.
I would love to play with you, but now is not the time.
and introducing J5.
My plan serves me correctly. J5 should be gingerly on his way.
Blank Man,
Slapped me around and called me Susan.
Now, 2 videos I showed you. One was Robert Townsend, right? Meteor Man. The other video that I showed you, dealing with Damian Wayans, was Black Man. Yeah, remember those? Huh? So you had black superheroes on the screen, but it was not made by Walt Disney or Marvel. See, a lot of you don't get what's going on. You scream out, oh my God, this is not the only black superhero that we watched on the screen. How can you forget? Well, a lot of you did not show Meteor Man or Black Man. Robert Townsend played Meteor Man. Damian Wayne played Black Man. Oh, I got more clips. See, we're going to break this down for the ignorance that people keep seeming to manifest. You're manifesting too much ignorance over nothing. Now, we had brothers and sisters say, they go, there's secrets in the Black Panther movie. Then you also got people talking about, oh, well, Black Panther is originated from the Black Panthers from the 60s and the 70s with Huey Newton and so forth. Well, it's a possibility if you did your homework. You see, if you did your homework, you will find out some of these answers. But we got to stop being silly and stop being critical, because I'm going to tell you something. Your worst nightmare is yourself. Melanated people, black people, you are your worst nightmare. Simple fact, because you constantly being so critical about everything. You really is. And if any one of you didn't expect that Black Panther was going to make more money than all the other comic movies, you were fooling yourself. See, let me tell you something. Stan Lee, Marvel Comics, they all knew it. Stan Lee had to pitch that to Walt Disney. Walt Disney just said, pick this up. They had to pitch it out. It's all about revenue in business. Understand the craft. This is business. Okay? We're going to show you another clip of a black superhero. Because y'all saying that Marvel and Disney, there were other black superhero movies, which they were, but they was not picked up by Marvel. They were not picked up by Walt Disney. Understand the faculties. You have to understand each movie cinema has its own power source. It ain't just picked up. It's not picked up by one Hollywood in this whole entire set. No. You got Panama. You got Lionsgate and so on and so forth that will pick up a movie if they believe it's going to make money. This is why I'm finding out a lot of you don't do your homework. I told you I'm coming in raw with you. I'm not playing with you. Because I've sat down for 2 weeks and watched you and listened how some of you don't get it. You don't get it. This is big business. And not just one company picks up a movie. There's more than one company when you're dealing with Hollywood. You understand? There's more than people. You got independent filmmakers. Remember this. Robert Townsend is who? An independent filmmaker. Do you remember that? Do any one of you remember Robert Townsend? I bet you forgot because you haven't been around in a while. Meteor Man. Independent. Understand this. Now I'm going to show you Wesley Snipes. Who is Wesley Snipes? Independent. These guys make their own movies. Trust me, what you don't know is Wesley Snipes went to Hollywood to pitch out the Blade for Blade and Spider-Man to join forces, because in the comic books that actually happened. not in just only the comic books, not only just in the comic books, but in the animated series. If any one of you truly a comic head, you would know that on Saturdays they would show the Amazing Spider-Man. You see, this is what you'll find out, that most of you are not comic heads. Most of you are not really into cartoons like that, because you would have known facts. I'm going to show you evidence. I'll be right back.
Underestimated my powers, friend. What an amusing toy. I spent well tonight. I'm now stronger than you and Spider-Man combined.
Others like me, Morbius. You will never be safe.
And soon, thanks to the Recombinator, there will be many more like me. The whole world will become vampires. Then you and your kind will be the freaks, the hunted. I came out tonight to hunt Morbius. I didn't expect to find this. Spidey's first rule of vampire hunting: never let him see you sweat. No!
Held him this time.
I borrowed some vampire-repellent gas from you and mixed it into my webbing. But I watered it down because I want Morbius alive. I thought it would hold him a little longer.
Good try, Spider-Man. But you've got a lot to learn about catching vampires. It's time I taught you a few tricks.
I have no choice but to work with this hunter. I have to get that Recombinator back. My life depends on it.
Stay alert, Web-Slinger. It's gonna be a long night.
Evidence. You see that? Animation series. We used to come on Channel 5, Fox, right? To come on Fox, and Spider-Man animated series, Blade versus Morpheus, right? When Blade was going against, he's basically a vampire hunter. You had the black comic hero in the animated series, and Spider-Man was in it. Now, do you remember that? You see, you didn't know that Wesley Snipes went to them and asked to do this movie. Well, they told him no. They told him no. See, understand, once again, I'm trying to break this down for y'all because a lot of you don't truly understand how this money thing works. You just can't walk up to somebody and say, oh, listen, I'm going to do a movie with you. First of all, it's always about money. How much money got I put in? Like, we know that the Black Panthers, to make that movie, was over $200 million. Well, we already know that they made more than enough. I hope you're writing this information down. I hope you are writing down the information I'm showing these videos so you can look into it, you can do research, and you can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. Instead of being naive and just talking out your behind. A lot of you do that. A lot of you talk out your behind and you don't know. You're just spewing out information. Well, what you don't realize is people are watching you. And a lot of people do not do their homework. A lot of people don't want to re-educate themselves to even understand this type of series. Now, a lot of you go, oh, comics is bullcrap. No, it's not. Comics is not bullcrap. It's on a level that a lot of you don't realize the percentage of adults who buy these comics and take it seriously. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. A lot of you don't realize. You think there's majority of children is what that read comics. That is not the case. Shall I show you evidence? Yeah, I know you want evidence. I'll be right back.
Talk about how much money the average movie makes. This is a very difficult thing to answer, and that there really is no such thing as an average movie, but we can break it down into categories. If you want to talk about the big summer blockbusters, a respectable summer blockbuster or winter blockbuster as the case may be, if it doesn't make more than $100 million, oftentimes heads will roll because those movies cost more than $100 million to make almost every single time. So if they don't make that money back, guarantee you a lot of people got fired or are gonna close to being fired because of that. If you step away from the blockbuster category and just go to the movies that are marketed more towards adults or specific groups of people, different demographics, those they're a little bit have a less broad appeal. They're generally made on a budget of anywhere from $20 to $50 million, and if they're made by a studio, and those films are expected to make roughly their budget back and hopefully some extra money in the DVD sales. That would be a happy average amount for a movie made for about $20 to $30 million. So they can make anywhere from $20 to $30 million at the box office and a few extra million in DVD sales, they'll call it a day. At the indie level, those films are made on a shoestring, oftentimes for no more than just a couple $1 million, if that. And those movies are honestly expected to make nothing necessarily. Everyone who invests in them with their time and money hopes that they'll find an audience, whether it be at a film festival and then hopefully then a distributor who loves it from the film festival. But there's absolutely no guarantee of anything. And honestly, with any of those other movies, there's no guarantees either. But there are a little bit better guarantees when it comes to studio films and with indies. With indies, the sky's the limit, though. That's the beauty of it. You can make a movie for $30,000 that goes on to gross hundreds of millions, such as the Blair Witch Project. A film like that is a phenomenon. But all that to say that the amount that those movies can make for the people who invest in them is, can be from minuscule to limitless. And those are just some examples of the type of profits that different films make.
Now, I showed you in the video that the young man clearly told you there's different levels. So you get a better understanding on how these films are being made and how much money is put into it. You see? See, I didn't want to just voice my opinion and say, well, look, this is what this film will get. I wanted to get someone that was a professional. This is what they're into. The filming industry. So I wanted you to hear for yourself, as they say, from the horse's mouth. Okay? So you'll get a better understanding how these things work. There's a lot of films that was just made $35,000, $40,000, $50,000. I could have been told you that if I wanted to. But like I said, I want you to get a clarification for someone's business, because movies is not my business. I don't make movies. So it's not for me to just give you an assumption. That's why I went to that video and I gave you that assumption. Once again, if anybody want to know what's in here, this is a fruit drink. And I told you that before, not to cut in, but a lot of people are just tuning in, that I juice fruits, I juice vegetables, like that. So I still eat, but I don't eat as much foods, like heavy foods. I don't eat that much heavy foods. So breaking off from what I'm letting you know, because I know people's curiosity. Oh, it's got a red cup. What's in there? Nah, it's all fruits. You see it? So anyway, let's get back to what I was breaking down. I'm going to show you Blade in the next section, part 2 of breaking down Black Panther, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I wanted to start off with some black movies superhero movies, which is a lot more than that. I just took the ones that I like and showed you what's the difference between Marvel cinema, Disney cinema, and how they combine together to do Black Panther. Okay? Let me just give you a little taste of Black Panther. Just a little taste.
I have seen gods fly. I've seen men build weapons that I couldn't even imagine. I've seen aliens drop from the sky.
Yeah.
But I have never seen anything like this. How much more are you hiding?
Hold up. Let's go.
We are home. My son, it is your time.
Show me my respect and bow down.
You get to decide what kind of king you are going to be. Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
The revolution will not be televised. Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya. We own ya. We only getting started now, cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now, cause we own ya. You and I'm a homie now, cause we own ya.
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all. What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. What's going on forever? The revolution will not be televised.
Let's have some fun.
The revolution will be live.
Now that's what this class is about. But for those who don't understand what you was listening to when he says a revolution will be revived, that came off a soundtrack back in the, I believe, the 70s. There was a singer, which I'm not going to mention his name, but I'm going to put it in part 2 of this series. And I can understand where the pro-black people get upset. Those are the elders that get upset because people have a tendency to take movies, actors, songs, and put it to what they want. Now, we know they do that to music all the time. They'll take certain many bars, and then they use it. How many times they sample James Brown stuff? I mean, if my memory serves me correctly, I believe Puff Daddy is the master of sampling James Brown's music. Am I right or wrong? I mean, but when you hear these movies being televised, revolutionary, that's based on reality. Based on what was going on in the 70s and the 60s. Dealing with the Black Panther movement of self-defense. We don't get into that. See, because some of you mix these things in because the way Hollywood did it and took information, took music, and put it into this movie. But if you don't know no better, you think this shit is original. I'll see you in part 2. Hold on. I'm going to give you a taste, and then I'm going to go into part 2. You see this brother here? That's Gil Scott. Now, I'm going to give you a taste, but I'm going to go into part 2, and we're going to jump off on that.
not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not...
Now, did you hear that? Gil Scott made that. The revolution will not be televised. That's where Black Panther got that from. The editors and all those guys and music guys found that soundtrack from Gil Scott, figured that it would be fly to play that. But what made them do that? I'm SHU AMUN RA. And we're going to break Black Panther down, but we're going to do it the raw way. I'm not your Negro. I'm not your Negro. See, I don't take things like that personally, because I know for a fact, every 10 years up in here, you need to be able to adjust and adapt and understand what's going on behind the scenes. See you part 2. This is SHU AMUN RA.
Oh,